would discover a giant's remains that were 72 feet in length.
No, they didn't. Hey, Nightgod. We both knew this day would come. A lot of people have been tagging me in your videos telling me to debunk the stuff you're talking about, but since this is your most recent one and it's about giants, I'm gonna cover it now. So let's just get started. This is what is known as an unfalsifiable hypothesis. You have absolutely no proof of that. In fact, I can find almost no evidence of it even happening. The only evidence I can find of this is from this article written 6 years ago by a guy named Mo. So yeah, hardly a primary source right there. This website also just has a whole bunch of stuff about Satanism and Freemasons and stuff on it, so top tier reporting. Since this is the only source I could find, I'm going to say this claim is dubious at best and false. Next order of business, let's go.
They would also discover remains from another giant that stood over 40 feet tall.
This one is practically recent in the grand scheme of things, and I can't even find where you got these dates from. And this one, I can't even find a single source confirming. Not even an article written by a guy named Mo. Let's see the next one.
Archaeological expeditions all throughout the island of Crete, they would locate these battle axes. Studies show that in order to wield these, you would have to be anywhere from 40 to 60 feet tall.
Oh, you're actually right about this one. You would have to be 40 to 60 feet tall to wield one of these. But you know what the caveat is? They weren't meant to be wielded. This is known as a labrys. It is a double-headed axe, and it was actually a sacred symbol for the Minoans who occupied the island of Crete. Interestingly, this symbol would only accompany goddesses and never gods. So these large labrys with a reconstructed hilt were likely just ceremonial objects. And just to disprove the giant thing a little bit further, look at these axe heads from the side. This metal is so thin that if you tried to wield one of these things, it would likely crumple like tinfoil. And I'm sure time and weather has had some effect on it, but all in all, they look fairly structurally sound. And they certainly do not look like they were built for combat. Next point, let's go.
This is where I would discover these all across the ocean floor.
Go on.
Student research team studying oceanography would find tracks 7 feet long in the Pacific.
You know, that would be pretty awesome if it was actually true. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like what you did was cited a clickbait article title without actually reading the article. I'm fairly confident this is the article he's referring to, as it comes up multiple times when you Google the keywords involved. So let's see what this study actually says. Here's another article with a picture of those footprints. English researchers found nearly 3,500 of these tracks about 1.5 miles below the ocean's surface. And there's a whole lot of theories about how they got there. Some people seem to suggest that it was deep-diving whales that made the disturbance, and others suggest that it was some other type of marine life, though it's so deep that it's rather difficult to tell. But you know what I can tell you you're not going to find 1.5 miles underneath the ocean? Giants. Why would they be there? How do they breathe? Do they have 1.5 mile long snorkel? God. Okay, centering myself. He then wraps up his video by saying that these things on the ocean floor were left with a 70-foot giant. And I'm sorry, but if a giant was 70 feet tall, its footprints would not be visible from space. Nightgod, if I misrepresented anything you've actually said in this video, please feel free to correct me, but otherwise, I look forward to seeing the rest of your conspiracy videos.
Discover a giant's remains that were 72 feet in length.
No, they didn't. Hey, Nightgod. We both knew this day would come.
Ah, yes we did, young Padawan, who calls himself not only a Minuteman, but a mini one. Sorry, bro, I couldn't help myself.
This is what is known as an unfalsifiable hypothesis. You have absolutely no proof of that. In fact, I can find almost no evidence of it even happening.
Really? Are you sure about that?
The evidence I can find of this is from this article written 6 years ago by a guy named Mo. So yeah, hardly a primary source right there.
Is that your final answer?
This website also just has a whole bunch of stuff about Satanism and Freemasons and stuff on it, so top tier reporting.
You forgot to check this source. Well, Mr. Archaeologist, does the name Pliny the Elder ring a bell to you? I guess I'll explain for you. Pliny the Elder was a scribe and a journal keeper as a servant for the Roman Empire. He would keep all the records for the king. But mostly he's known for being the first person to ever write an encyclopedia. In the 6th chapter of the 7th book of these works is where you'll find info on the 72-foot tall giant. Then, during the Cretan War, which took place from 205 BC to 200 BC, both armies would confirm a 40-foot tall giant's remains were uncovered. A notable eyewitness, Lucius Flacco, would verify seeing the bones for himself. And now to the battle axes. Even if they were built as tokens or items of worship, why in the heck would they make them so big? Well, they made them this big because they knew the giants existed. So it's obvious to me they knew about the giants and probably had interaction with them. This is where I would discover these all across the ocean floor.
Go on.
Student research team studying oceanography would find tracks 7 feet long in the Pacific.
You know, that would be pretty awesome if it was actually true. Fairly confident this is the article he's referring to, as it comes up multiple times when you Google the keywords involved. So let's see what this study actually says. English researchers found nearly 3,500 of these tracks about 1.5 miles below the ocean's surface. And there's a whole lot of theories about how they got there. Some people seem to suggest that it was deep-diving whales that made the disturbance, and others suggest that it was some other type of marine life, though it's so deep that it's rather difficult to tell.
Just by what you said, it's apparent you didn't read all the article. Or do your due diligence and do any research. Because there is absolutely zero whale species that will ever go as deep as 2.4 miles. The deepest diving whale is the beaked whale. The deepest they'll go is 2,000 meters, 6,000 feet. The record is 2,900 meters, or almost 9,000 feet. 5,280 feet in a mile, times 2.4. Check part 2 for the fatality. Seen above me are footprints discovered on the ocean floor back in 2018. They were 7 feet in length and almost 4 feet wide. They counted over 3,500 total steps from this bipedal humanoid. Oh, and it's at a depth of 2.4 miles? Wow. Do you know what the average depth is of all the oceans combined? Well, I'm going to tell you. 12,000 feet, which equals roughly 2.4 miles. The Azores Pyramid off the coast of San Miguel. But forget about how it's completely blurred out. It's a volcano. But my question is, why feel the need to blur out all these volcanoes on the ocean floor? And last but most certainly not least, one day I was looking at the ocean floors of the Pacific Ocean on Google Earth. Everything I'm about to show you was actually blurred out until you zoomed in all the way. Then it would show crystal clear. Take a good look, fam. What do you see here? Notice the straight lines coming off a center. They form a perfect circle. It almost looks like a rudimentary drawing of the sun. But again, notice how perfectly straight the lines are. And notice this large mound in the middle. That, my friend, is a meteor, and the straight lines are debris shooting out from the impact. And that wouldn't be the only one I found. If you look below, there's another one, and another, and here's an even more definitive one. Now, if the oceans always existed, how could these impacts take place? I mean, they could impact, but there's no way they would shoot the debris and cause straight lines, definitive straight lines, coming off the center. I can do this all day. See, these impacts occurred well before the Great Flood. I'm guessing around 11,000 years ago. Some ancient texts give this explanation. There was a great war that took place on Mars. The red planet, you know, the one that looks like a nuclear war totally ravaged it. During this nuclear war, 2 of her moons got annihilated, and a large portion of the debris came hurling towards Earth, eventually breaking through our atmosphere and making impact. Now back to our oceans. Yes, I'm going to refer to the Bible as a historical text, not a religious one. In telling us about the world-changing flood in the days of Noah, the Bible gives us much information about where the waters came from and where they went. In Genesis 7:11, it says, "In the 600th year of Noah, our Creator would open the floodgates to the springs of the great deep." Other texts it says fountains. He also says the great deep, not just the deep. The deep refers to oceans. The great deep refers to, I believe, the subterranean pockets and the fresh waters filling them. And also the windows of heaven. Proof the earth could have been dry, Amos 7:4. God's fire of judgment said to dry up the great deep. 750. Well, there you have it, my people. I hope you enjoyed those videos. A little throwback from my early TikTok career, battles with your boy Miniminuteman. I thought I'd share because honestly, was a cool experience on TikTok. I hadn't experienced anything like it up to that point. And if you haven't noticed or you don't know, I guess this is a shout out to him. Miniminuteman has been blowing up pretty fast on YouTube. So give him a look, man. He's killing it. And they were from his early days as well. He only had 500,000 followers on TikTok at the time. Now he's well over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. So killing the game. I haven't seen if he's on Facebook yet. But if you ain't, you need to be, bro. And side note, we were having all sorts of fun with that. We didn't have any animosity towards each other or anything like that. We were in the comments, you know, saying thanks for the video and shaking hands. It was all good. Although I'm not going to lie, sir, you are hard on us conspirators at times. But you make good content. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm going to have more new, fresh content on the way. I'm in the process of making a video. And I kind of want to throw in a little different aspect of creating here soon. I kind of want to start doing some reaction videos here and there to, you know, TikTok videos or YouTube videos and the like. So keep an eye out for that. Really busy. A lot of stuff going on. Literally just trying to get water to where I'm at. Looking for a place still. But I think we got a good lead, guys. So cross your fingers. Nevertheless, I will always bring you that cool, fresh, awesome content on the edge, on the fringe, maybe even a little cringe. But always, without a doubt, entertaining. So stay tuned, stay in the love, stay in the light. Be kind to others, treat them how you want to be treated. See you next time. I am Out.